Hello everyone. Yesterday I watched a very sad video. A sad video of a young lady dehumanizing and brutalizing a young man. What was his crime?
I don't give a fuck about your opinion. You can go to hell. Like, why are you here, sir? Eh? Excuse me. Do you think I'm just any type of girl you come? I don't understand.
So you see, the crime of this young man was that he went to the market, sourced for, found a ring, paid for it, baked a cake, went on his knee, and popped a question: will you marry me? That is a beautiful question by all standards. One that so many people look forward to, males or females. And it has two responses, just two. Either a yes or a no. A simple yes or no would suffice. But this young lady, as you have seen in this video, went ahead to brutalize and assault this guy and obviously walk all over his self-esteem. This is wrong. Now, is this the first time this has happened? No, it's not the first time this has happened. Will it be the last? Probably not. So why are we talking about it? We are talking about it because it needs to be talked about. There are so many things happening to the male folk that needs to be talked about. Things that if we have been talking about it, probably our society will be filled with male folks that we are proud of. With men, boys, uncles, fathers, brothers, nephews, chief executive officers, school teachers, police officers, soldiers, and people, males from all walks of life that will beat our chest and will be proud of. Maybe if we have been talking about these things that affect males in so many ways, we probably will have very little or no reports of sexual assaults, of husbands beating their wives, of fathers abandoning their homes. Probably we would have a better society because the male folks are living up to expectations. Now, does it mean that all the male folks out there are not living up to expectations? The answer is no. There are male folks out there who are hitting the mark. They are doing so well. Their families, their wives, their children, their daughters, their aunties, sisters, mothers, everybody around them is proud of them for being a man. But is the percentage enough? Are we feeling the impact of these nice guys in the society? No, because the percentage is way below what is needed. So, the simple question is, why are we not talking about the male folks in a way that it would help them? The concept of being a man is one that so many persons have a whole lot to talk about. They have so many things to say. Yet, very few of these things that people are saying all over the world impacts a man positively. Let's not get it twisted. The society has crafted a system where there is so much burden on a man. The burden to provide, the burden to secure, the burden to lead, the burden to do all kinds of things. The problem is not these things that are expected of a man. The problem is how these things are expected of a man. The problem is where these things are expected of a man. And the problem is how this man is helped in the process of getting these things done. So many persons will say, are you not a man? You should be able to do this. So many persons will say, but you're a man. You should be able to do this. Yes, you're a man, you're a man, you're a man. And everyone keeps saying, are you not a man? How does that help the situation at hand? We have been asking this question, are you not a man, for donkey years, for eternity, and it seems like nothing is changing. Isn't it time for us to change the narrative and start asking, how can we help a man become a better human? How can we help a man to meet the numerous expectations that have been laid at his doorstep? Isn't it time for us to start seeking for directions for the boy child from an early age before he gets to the point where he forms an opinion? What systems do we even have in place to help the boy child grow? Everyone talks about the girl child. Everyone talks about how the girl needs to be trained. She has to know how to cook. She has to know how to dress. She has to know how to respect people. She has to know how to do this. She has to know how to do that. And she has to know how to do that. And we forget that the composition of the society is not just the female. It's not just made up of the female, but also of the male. And whatever we give to the female should also be given to the male, because a lot is expected of the male. But we have failed as a society to take the male folk and train alongside the female folk. With that, we're experiencing all sorts of catastrophe in our society every day. This young man that has been brutalized in this video probably had the right intentions. Probably was so in love with this girl that he made the conclusion that, see, I think this is the lady I want to live the rest of my life with. Lo and behold, he was wrong. I was speaking with a friend of mine this morning about this video, and Blessing was so sad. She was so sad at the video, so sad, and she had a whole lot of responses to the video. One of which is, this guy just dates himself. This guy has been dating himself, thinking he has been dating this girl. This guy should have had a discussion with this girl about marriage so that he will know that she is in tune with his thoughts. And Blessing was really sad. She concluded that the girl lacked home training. And she also concluded that the guy did not do due diligence before he went to buy that ring and bake that cake to propose to this girl. And he became a victim of his own negligence. These are the conversations we should help young men have. We should train young men on how to decipher the times and the seasons. We should train young men on emotional intelligence to know how to spend money. We should train young men on emotional intelligence on how to relate with people, on how to control their emotions, on how to control anger, and how to avoid depression. Depression and anxiety is very, very real, and it has led to all kinds of things. Statistics shows that more than twice as many males die from suicide compared to women. How did twice as many males get to the point of saying, look, I've had enough, I'm going to take my life. I can't do this anymore. simply because they don't have anyone to talk to, simply because when they talk, the society makes mockery of them, simply because there is no system in place to help young men, old men, all kinds of men when they are in dire need. And that simply means that 84 men a week take their lives. That is staggering. That is very, very staggering. And what it simply means is that 74% of suicides all across board are males. Should we continue like this? Should we close our eyes to this? Should we block our ears to this? Should we sit by and watch the male folks implode and watch a steady decline of both the number of men who exist on planet Earth and the character of men? Shouldn't we be asking ourselves what we should do to help this situation? Still talking about depression and anxiety. 1 out of 10 men lives in depression. No one to talk to. And that is why you come out on social media, you hear things like, oh my God, I spoke to him yesterday. I didn't know he was this issue. He was with us and he was laughing with us. And we were out there last week and he was the life of the party. And medicine after death. We should pay more attention. This number of 1 out of 10 men being depressed, it's even suspect, because statistics has said that men underreport depression. Depression in men is totally and completely underreported. Why? Because the society has crafted a system where you tell the male folk, be a man. So a man is suffering and is trying so hard to be a man. He's trying so hard to represent. He's trying so hard to meet expectations even when he can't. He's depressed. He's sad. He has no one to talk to. And even when he talks, he's not listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time we start working towards a better society. It is time we start working towards uplifting the male folk. It is time we get out of that place where we have homes that are dilapidated. It is time we get out of that place where we have single mothers all over the place. Statistics says that about 9.5% of Nigeria's population are single mothers. Single mothers. Do you think these women don't want men in their lives? Do you think these children that they are raising alone will not be happy to have men in their lives? There are so many reasons why women have ended up being single. There are so many reasons why they have even ended up being single mothers. Abuse, neglect, emotional trauma, and so on and so forth. If our society has to be great again, if our society is going to be great and meet the expectations and get to where we want it to get to, we must fix the circle of men. We must fix the foundation that leads to fatherhood. We must really, really fix it. Abi Provost said something. The heart of a father is the masterpiece of nature. The heart of a father is the masterpiece of nature. But if the masterpiece of nature is broken, our society will be broken. I say it again. If the masterpiece of nature is broken, our society will be broken. And we can't do anything about it once it is broken. There is only one thing we can do, and it is work to fix it. Fathers are supporters. Fathers are caregivers. Caregiving cannot be separated from fatherhood. Failure to provide holistic support retards the growth of children in many facets of life and eventually leads to so many things we are seeing out there. It leads to what we have seen in that video and so many more that you out there can attest to. On this show, The Emotional Guy, we're going to be talking about everything that affects a man: money, finances, marriage, relationships, communication, tolerance. We're going to be talking about religion. We're going to be talking about friendship with the opposite sex, relationship with the opposite sex. We're going to be talking about nutrition. We're going to be talking about health. We will talk about anxiety and depression. We will talk about responsibility. And we'll talk about so many topics. And I won't be doing this alone. I'm going to be finding people who are going to take these issues and beat them down and break it down. And we're going to make a whole lot of noise about the male folk in our society. We're going to be talking about how it affects women. We're going to be talking about how it affects children. We'll have everybody on the show: mothers, aunties, sisters, daughters, and children. We'll have men coming here to tell their own story. We'll have men coming here to expose their minds so that we will understand what goes on inside the mind of a man. Real issues, real people, and real talk. All of these will be coordinated by yours truly. My name is Chukwudi Carlo, and I am the emotional guy. Until I come your way next week, please look out for issues around male folk and let me know in the comment section what you think. Let me understand the grievances you have with men. Let me understand the disappointments you have faced with men. Let me know the high and lows in your life with respect to the male folk. If you have any suggestion on how we can make the show better, I will be delighted to hear it, and I will be delighted to implement it. So I'm going to crave your indulgence. Subscribe, like, and look forward to the next video.